Hello, my name is Bill Stevenson. I am the general manager of Stevenson Learning Skills, the company that publishes the Stevenson Language Skills Program. COVID-19 has been terrible for our nation in many ways, and both teachers and students have had to make many adaptations that no one really wanted to make. But they say the necessity is the mother of invention, and some of the people who use the Stevenson Reading Program have developed very helpful resources for the situation. These online resources will be valuable not only for remote instruction, but for that wonderful day when we can return to conventional in-person school instruction. Nancy Zimi, whom you will soon meet, is our senior trainer who also runs our Zoom meetings. She has been the driving force behind creating and compiling the tools that you will see, but other teachers have contributed a great deal, and you will get to meet some of them on this video. We are extremely grateful for all their work and for their commitment to helping struggling readers. Thank you and enjoy.
Hey everybody, we are doing a demonstration of how we use Canvas to implement the Stevenson Learning Skills Program in a distance learning environment. My name is Bruce Belanger, and this last year I taught at an intermediate school, Miller Intermediate at NSISD, and I worked with my partner teacher.
I'm Tammy Duke.
And Tammy also taught intermediate at NS. So what we did was we created a course together, and we wanted to bring in the online course some similarities, familiarity, what we were doing in the brick and mortar class. Just so our kids, they were sort of thrown into this. We wanted them to be comfortable. We wanted it to be consistent. So we're going to show you our course now that we developed. We use Canvas, and here it is. So I'm going to go through just briefly the home page. We created a home page, so when the kids would log in, they would go right to this. There was a brief message reminding them to use Snap and Read, which is a program that we had to read aloud the text if they needed that. So our students were in special education, so many struggled with reading. Then we created a how-to video of walking them through the course, where to click, where to go next, what to do. It's like a 9-minute video, so it was very detailed of helping them to get started. And then, of course, the parents could watch that too. We had a longer parents section with instructions on how to download Canvas, the Canvas app, to their cell phone, how the course would progress, and what would be happening each week. We had our contact information and the contact information for the technology department if they had any issues. And now Tammy's going to get you started on a demonstration of one of our weekly modules.
So each week we would record our lessons. And lessons would start with what week we were on and what we were going to be working on with our lessons. And our kids, we had sent the workbooks home with them, so they had the workbooks at home to do. So like this lesson was working on layer cake I words with the buzzing S, more spelling clues with my and by, and layer cake E words. We always remind them to use their Snap and Read, so they didn't have to actually read all this, they could listen to it. Then it told them what workbook pages they would be working on after they listened to their lesson. And we had these gifts that we added to some of our lessons, and Bruce is going to show you where you can download those gifts.
So we found these gifts in the Stevenson had created a website through Google, and here it is. And so we found them here. Let me go to the home page of it. This is what it looks like at the home page. And on the left, you can go to the PBJ, peanut butter and jelly animations, and you just right click on those, and then you can save the image, and then you have it as a file, a GIF file to upload in your course. So these were the specific gifts that were going to be helpful and used in this specific lesson.
And then we also had this GIF of the sentence strips, and we would call out words for them to write, and they could write in their sentence strips. And then if they forgot how to do it, this GIF shows them how to write the words in the sentence strip.
Perfect. Then in the assignment sections, we also, in that same website, they had another resource called Story Resources. And these were Stevenson word rich stories, like the coal thief story, which was read by Christian Slater. And so it's a YouTube, and you could just copy the link into your course, and it read aloud the story. So hopefully it would be good for the students because there were a lot of words that they were studying. Then we created a quiz in Canvas, a short quiz over listening comprehension, sort of to make sure they were listening to the story. And now Tammy's going to talk to you about the lessons that we actually taught and recorded.
So when we were recording these lessons, to kind of make it easier on each of us, we kind of tag teamed the weeks. Bruce would teach a whole week's worth of lessons, and then the next week I would take the week's worth of lessons. Kind of gave us each a break. What we did is we would record ourselves teaching the lessons in Zoom, and then we would download those videos into a YouTube video, and we would put them on Canvas. Inside our lessons, we had whatever materials that we needed, we could upload. This one used a Jamboard. We could use Jamboard to demonstrate how to spell words, and the cake for our layer cake words, or in a sandwich if it was a peanut butter and jelly word. Whatever resources we needed, we could upload them to that during our lesson.
Okay, very good. We also used the Stevenson reading books. We took pictures of the specific pages in the reading books and uploaded them into our lesson. And then Canvas had the option for us to create a discussion board. So if there was like comprehension questions or a brief writing assignment, then we recreated that as a discussion post rather than having the students write it down on a piece of paper. How they got their work back to us, we didn't really mention that, was if they did workbook pages, they took pictures of their completed work and they texted them back to us. Otherwise, if it was a quiz or a discussion post, they completed it in the Canvas course itself. So we wanted to just close by saying that the progression of developing this course, like anything else, was really a lot more work at the beginning, but that it got easier as we gained experience with it. And just to share some thoughts about how our students responded, I think that my students responded really well. I had about, let's see, how many did I have? 5. I had 4 that actually really got into the course, 1 that really got into it. And so just, depending on the level of support that they had, but I think they really responded well. And as long as we were, helping them, doing Zoom meetings if they needed help and so forth.
Just keeping in contact with our students to make sure that they were doing it, and getting feedback from them about the lessons that they were working on.
So we just want to say that we hope you enjoyed our demonstration of how we use Stevenson learning skills in a distance learning environment. Good luck to everybody.
Hello, I've been using Jamboard to teach students remotely since March when we were shut down because of the pandemic, and I've had a lot of success with it. Jamboard is an interactive whiteboard. It's a virtual whiteboard that also has all kinds of extra features on there, such as sticky notes. You can add a Google Doc, a Google image, a drawing, any kind of a photo, and you can preload the Jamboard before your lesson, and then you can use it in conjunction with Zoom or Google Meet and have a very interactive lesson with your student. And I'm going to show you how this works. This is a Zoom lesson with a student who is just about to start the Peach Book when the school shut down. So what I did is I took a Jamboard, I preloaded it with 6 different sticky notes using 1-syllable words with patterns that he was already familiar with. And then I added a graphic organizer image to help him see more precisely how to build a compound word. And then I took 3 more sticky notes to show what the word should look like when it's done. Once I realized that he had a great understanding, we continued on with the lesson. Okay, so like you take the word rain.
Take a word rain.
And then you would add the word
plus the coat.
Coat. And then what word does that make?
Equals raincoat.
Raincoat. Awesome. So I'm going to give you the remote control.
Okay. There we go.
I think I did it. Do you have it? Okay, awesome.
Yep.
And what'd you put up there?
Raincoat.
Nice. Do you want to do the other 2 on your own?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see what you can come up with.
Rail plus road equals railroad.
Oh, nice job, Jacob.
Light house equals lighthouse.
Awesome. Great job. Do you know what all those are? I know you know what a raincoat is and a railroad.
Yeah.
What about a lighthouse?
I get lighthouse out front.
Oh, do you? Okay, cool. If you didn't know what a lighthouse was, what could you do to pull up a picture? Can you show us?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that you remembered how to spell it and everything.
Yeah. Let it load for a little bit.
Uh-huh. Do you want to move it and make it smaller? Put it next to lighthouse?
Yeah.
Nice work. All right, Jacob, I'm going to go ahead and let go for a minute, and I'm going to take back the mouse.
Yeah.
I preloaded these next boards with various words that Jacob had already learned from the green level and the blue level books. This way he could review all of those various patterns that he was already used to and also be able to create new, more complex words on his own. So choose any word you want, Jacob, and then we'll figure out what word's going to go with it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Airplane.
Airplane.
Yep.
Nice. So if you were going to, okay, you're going to put the image first. That works.
Yeah.
Those are some nice looking airplanes.
Yes. My cousin Brooke and my friend Randall went to Florida.
Did they on an airplane?
Yeah, went to airplane for a little bit and went to the bathroom.
Uh-huh. Okay, so you're going to remember how to spell airplane because you can't see it, right? You're just going to remember how to spell that word?
Yeah.
Wow, you really remember this stuff, Jacob. That's
Yeah.
awesome. All right, buddy.
That raincoat is so small, it does not fit around my.
Jacob had a solid understanding of how to build a compound word, and he was reading them fluently. So it was time to move on to sentences.
In the hill, there is a big bust
Yeah, you got it.
of George Washington made of limestone.
Close.
Limestone.
Limestone. Awesome. We're here.
And that looked very lifelike.
Nice job. There's just one word with a
Yeah.
pattern that I'm not sure if you remember this pattern up here, but it says
Yeah.
in the, what's that word?
And the hill, all.
Okay, so you corrected yourself. So you saw the all in there, right?
Yep.
And so what's the
Yeah.
word?
Hall.
Hall. Good job. It's been a while. We haven't read
Yeah.
that pattern in a while, have we?
Yeah.
Okay. That's why we're reviewing, just as a reminder of how all these patterns go.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and read number 3.
When Braid and I went on board the steamboat, his wheelchair just barely
Barely.
it fit on the ramp.
Nice, Jacob.
It seemed like it took a lifetime for the airplane to land.
Got every word in there.
Yeah, that large sail,
Large.
large sail
Uh-huh.
on the chef
Shelf.
shelf is a keep sack.
Keep. Is that a
Keep
peanut butter and jelly or layer cake at the end?
layer cake.
Okay, so you got keep.
And sack.
Who shouts their sound in that last word?
E.
Does E shout its sound or does E kick?
E kick.
Yeah, what letter does E kick?
A.
A. Okay, what does A say loud and long?
A.
Okay, and then the first sound?
That.
Say.
Sake.
There you go. So what's the word?
Keepsake.
Uh-huh.
From our trip to the sea. Shoe. Seahorse.
Okay, let's put that one up on a sticky note. That one's a little tricky.
Yes. See.
Let's put the last part of the word up here.
Seashore.
There you go. You see it?
Yes.
Is that a layer cake word or a peanut butter and jelly word, Jacob?
Layer cake.
Layer cake. So when you noticed it was layer cake, did that help you remember it?
Yes.
Yeah, because I could see where you'd think horse because some of the letters are the same, right?
Yeah.
But you figured it out. Nice job.
Yep.
Okay, so let's see. I'm going to let you, since we're just reviewing today, I'm just
Yeah.
going to have you read one column. Would you like to
Yeah.
read the first column, the second column, or the third column?
The first one.
First one? Okay.
Yeah. Airline. Airplane. Carefree. Coastline. Daydream. Fireboat. Homemade. Keepsake.
There's that tricky one again.
Keepsake.
Nice.
And lifeboat.
Yeah. Do you remember we did keepsake? Do you remember what a keepsake is? That's kind of a tricky one.
Yeah.
Keepsake is like a souvenir. Like maybe you go on a trip to the
Yes.
ocean and you take a seashell home because you want to remember the ocean.
Yeah.
That would be like a keepsake. Jacob's doing pretty well. However, he is still struggling a little bit with some of the patterns that he's learned. So, to give him just a little more practice before we move forward, we're going to pattern mark some words. It's been a little while.
Yes.
Nice job. All right, so is that a layer cake pattern or a peanut butter and jelly?
A layer peanut butter jelly.
Which one?
The brave is a layer cake.
Layer cake, because which letter is your E for, oh, I said it. Which letter is your frosting?
E.
E, that's right. That's your creamy frosting. And then which one's your crunchy filling?
A.
A, good job. How about
Yeah.
the last one? What is that word on the end? At the
Coach.
bottom. Coach. Is that a peanut butter and jelly word or a layer cake word?
A peanut butter jelly.
Uh-huh. So go ahead and show us the pattern for that one.
I got OA.
Jacob was starting to tire, so we skipped the next few boards that involve adding doilies or prefixes to the words. We'll save that for next time. Instead, I decided to do a quick word ending review before we ended our lesson for the day. One more thing before I let you go. I'm going to let you pick one of these words on the left.
Yeah.
And then we're going to figure out which of those endings on the top will go with the word.
Yes.
So which word would you like to choose, Jacob?
Soap.
Soap? Okay, go ahead and put soap under, like in the middle of the page there.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so go up to the top and take a look at the sticky note. Why?
Yeah, why?
Okay, so yeah, go ahead and try that. What does that make a new word?
Yes.
What's the word?
Soapy.
Soapy. That's a word, right?
Yeah.
Can you think of a sentence with the word soapy in it?
ING.
No, I mean like a sentence. Like when you wash your hands get
Dirty.
Well, when you wash them, you put the soap on and you rub them together. You get them all, what's the word?
Soapy.
Soapy. So that would be a way you could use that in a sentence, right?
Yeah.
Mom, I got my hands all
Clean.
All, what's the word?
Soapy.
Soapy. Okay, go ahead and move Y back up there. And then what's the next frosting called?
ing.
Uh-huh. Let's see if that makes a real word or not.
Yeah.
Can you read that?
Soaping.
Soaping. Is that a word?
Yes.
How would that be a word? Can you think of a way you could use that?
Like I use soap to wash my hands in the bathroom.
Right, you use soap, or what if you're doing it right now? Could you say, Mom, I'm, what's
Yeah.
the whole word?
Soaping.
So start with Mom, I'm soaping
Mom, I'm soaping
up my hands.
up my hand.
Yeah, I'm soaping up my hands. I guess you could say that, right?
Yeah.
It's not something you hear too much.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and put ing frosting back. And then what's our next frosting?
ed.
Ed frosting.
Yep.
What'd you make?
Soaped.
Nice. Can you clap that? You did that perfectly. One syllable.
Yeah.
Remember how to
Soaped.
do that? Soaked. Can you try clapping it?
Yeah, it's only one.
Right. So go show me how to clap just one syllable.
Yeah.
Soaked. Good.
Soaped.
A lot of people get that one wrong because it seems like it would be two, but that stays one sometimes, huh?
Yes.
So you could say, Mom, I
Mom, I soaked.
soaked
Yeah.
up my hands.
Of my hand.
That means you already did it. Like when you're done
Yeah.
washing, you come out and say, Mom, I soaped up my hands.
Yeah.
And she might say, did you rinse your hands too? Did you rinse the soap off?
Yeah.
Okay, so that works.
Of course I do rinse out hands with the soap and warm water.
Yeah, that's really important, especially these days, huh?
Yes.
Wash all the germs down the drain.
Yep.
Okay, go ahead and put the ED frosting back up. What's the next frosting?
Last one is ER.
Okay. What do you think? What's that word?
Soaper.
Soper. Have you ever heard that before? Soper?
No.
No, me neither. So do we agree that's not really a word?
No.
Do we agree that soap cannot take ER frosting?
No.
Nah, I don't think so either. Okay, go ahead and put the ER frosting back up. Throughout the lesson, I could tell that Jacob has mastered the material well enough that he's ready to move forward in the Peach book. Now, I've been teaching Jacob and his classmates for 3 years now. We started at the very beginning of the green level in Stevenson, and all of the students have come so far that I knew when we shut down due to COVID that I had to find a way to keep them going. But even if you have a student who's just starting out and you want to start them in Stevenson, you can still use Jamboard. Here is an example of a lesson that I preloaded from the beginning level Green Book, introducing the letter A. You can see I took different parts of the lesson so that you can teach the sound, you can teach how to write the letter A. There are lots of visuals, word discrimination, listening for the A in the word. So I made a lot of the beginning lessons for Jamboard. I preloaded them, and all of those are going to be up on the Google site. You are welcome to go there and make a copy of anything that I've made, or you can just go there and get ideas on how to preload Jamboards to use Stevenson on your own. Here's an example that somebody made where the student could go into the Jamboard and write on it using their stylus. They're practicing the different patterns that they've learned so far. Here's another one. Now you can have the student do this on their own and then share it with you, or you can help them during Zoom or Google Meet and do it interactively. You can do all of the writing and all of the moving of the sticky notes yourself, or you can give them the remote control and let them take turns as well. I've used this with small groups and with individuals, and it seems to work well both ways, just depending on the student and depending on the group. Here's an example of the wobbly eye, and the student could use the stylus to make the brace to turn it into the Y. Here's another example of just putting letters into the correct places in the layer cake. Here's another example of a board where my student, who's in the second level blue book, he sorted the words just for review. I did a lot of review with the students once we shut down in March, just to get them used to the Jamboard. This student sorted the peanut butter and jelly and the layer cake words, and then he looked up a few of the words to practice using Jamboard and also to learn new vocabulary words such as sage. Here's another example of a board where the student learned how to put various endings onto the words, and he also needed to work on sentences, so I had him come up with a sentence for the word and then type it onto a sticky note. Here's another example of just some pattern review. I just put some words up there, and then the student grabbed a sticky note, wrote the pattern out, and then attached it to the word that was already made. You can also draw arrows, like on this one. This is something I'm going to use with Jacob next time to introduce prefixes or doilies, which are in the Peach book. So I hope this helped everyone get an overview of how you can use Jamboard to teach Stevenson.
Hi, I'm Nancy Zimi. I'm a senior trainer for the Stevenson Learning Skills Company, and I just wanted to highlight a few of the resources that Tammy and Bruce and Lori were using in their fantastic Stevenson lessons. And again, thanks to them for sharing their skills and helping us to make this training video. So one of our newest sites that we are currently working on and adding to as frequently as possible is our Google website. Stevenson Learning Skills, support for educators using Stevenson show you a few things that are available right now for you to use in your digital classroom. And again, more of these will be coming later. So on the home page, there's a listing of all of the things that are available, starting at the beginning up here at the top. The PBJ GIF animations I'm not sure if you're familiar with these, but these are the short little clips that run on a continuous loop. And there is no voicing to the clips. They are just simply quick animations that emphasize the various stories, the OA, the AI, the twins. So there are several on here ready for you to use. Here's our peanut butter and jelly, review of our peanut butter and jelly. This is our choice between using C or K at the end of the peanut butter and jelly word. And with everything that we are posting on the Google website, we are trying to label them with the integral numbers. So integral numbers are consistent throughout the program, and you can find a listing of your integral numbers in the back of your basic green manual or the back of your basic blue teacher's manual. And I will try to add a post of those on this website as well. But that's the order and sequence that Stevenson is taught. And so while you may be using the green beginning book, some of those are reviewed in the basic blue, and the lesson numbers are different. So the integrals help you to kind of know where you are in the program. So a student to use this particular GIF about the open sandwich, they should have completed your lessons with integral 34, 36, 38, 39. I have my glasses on. Hopefully you can read those. And then you'll know they're ready to see this particular animation. So that's a sample of the peanut butter and jelly. Again, if you just click down, there's some samples of the layer cake stories. This is a fun one. That soft C and G. Here's when the E sneaks up on the little coffee cup, scares him. He puts on a snake costume and decides to make a snaky sound. So you can see that there's been several that have been added. Some for the basic blue. Some fun ones for the beginning to introduce frostings. We're adding ing to a peanut butter and jelly word. Find the frosting, find our pattern, do our pattern marking. Also on this web page are a few illustration activities. These might be some things that you can bring into your Jamboard lessons. This is one of my favorites, the square illustration page where the students would write in this area up here, your vocabulary word, their pattern. They give you a little picture and then they rewrite the word. So that might be a fun one if you can find a program that allows them to draw that type of thing. Here are your homonyms. Possibly you could use those for a matching game in your Jamboard lessons. Lori and Bruce referred to the story resources that were available through this Google website. So this is that page. There are more available if you just follow the link. Once you open one of these stories, there are numerous books available that actors have done the reading for. And again, the animations, as far as seeing the book, seeing the pages, are done very, very well. I just picked out a few of my favorites that some I had used in my classroom, others I just fell in love with as soon as I listened to them and wish that I had a student to do them with right now. I've tried to put the vocabulary that I noticed as we were going through the book that you could have the students key in on. They could possibly listen for these auditorily for auditory discrimination, or they could perhaps look for them visually as the story is being read. And again, you can always just sit back and enjoy a great story. Down here, I did a little recording of Sheep in the Jeep, which is one of my favorite books by Nancy Shaw, and she has given me permission to read that book and post that online. And so we did a few examples of some of the vocabulary development activities that we did to go along with that book in our classroom. And the other item that I'm beginning to build slowly to try to get out there for you are these animated teacher cards. So these are a little different than the GIF animations. These are ones that I'm actually trying to do very simple animations, movements on, but I'm also reading the back of the teacher card. So these will have the voice instructions to go with the teacher card as the student watches.
Soon you will read some words that have the O sound in them. But the round, fat guy who says O cannot make his sound unless he has another round, fat letter beside him that stands second in line. That other letter is his friend round, fat A, who leans on a stick. The letter A has to be quiet because he is second in line. But he has a special power. Letter A has a tiny invisible foot which can kick round, fat O. He does not kick him very hard because they're friends, just hard enough to make him say, "Oh." Here are some pictures from students of their O and A friends. At the end, I would like you to try to draw your idea of O and A friends. Remember, O is first in line and A is second in line and has to be quiet. And give O a little kick. Who do you see? Who is first in line? Who shouts his sound? Why does he get to shout his sound? Suppose he forgets. Then what does he say?
Additional resources, again, will be coming. This is also where we will post Lori's Jamboard lessons as she gets those completed and uploaded. She's working on one for every single lesson. This is the page on the website for Peach. If you're at the intermediate, these are some of the supplemental support activities that can be used for the Peach lessons and a few of the things with coordination of different activities and that type of thing. So again, just a resource, another resource for you if you're using that Peach manual. Another resource that I wanted to show you was the Facebook share group. This is a private group and you will need to ask to be admitted into the group. And there are 3 short questions and you can simply answer the first one that you found us on YouTube, or you can go ahead and let us know what lesson you're on and where you are in the program to join the group. In this group, there are additional information or pieces that might be helpful under files. There are some PDFs posted that you might want to open and check out using in your lessons, see if that would be something that you could bring in to one of your digital lessons. There's also some good information for parents here. And those should all open and they are all free and accessible to you. All you have to do is click on the file section in the Stevenson Learning Skills Share Group Facebook page. That's a mouthful. Also, we're trying to start, I'm hoping that the teachers that are part of this group will add to it, but we're trying to start an album with the various patterns and looking at maybe finding some clip art. If you're using clip art in your digital lessons, if you're already bringing some clip art in, here's a great place to maybe just save it and share it so that we don't all have to be hunting for those types of words. So far I've found a coat, some goading of the sheep, and then a moat. So again, it's a work in progress and we'll take all the help we can get on adding to that information. The next resource that you might find helpful that's out there and available to you is the Quest Consulting website. This is a website that I started probably 12 or 15 years ago. And the main thing that's on this one is under workshop activities, make and take games, will be all of the masters for the games that I used in my classroom. Again, this was more face-to-face. It might be something you want to come back to when we can return to face-to-face instruction. Those of you that are creative enough, there might be ways for you to use some of these activities and turn them into a digital activity that you can do with your students. So again, follow your integral numbers. They are labeled, and then you simply click right here in this section to get the items to open, which that one is right here. And word detective simply means that you look around your world. You can highlight patterns that you find in other materials. You can look in other textbooks. You can look in signs while you're driving down the road. You can turn on closed captioning and see if you can find some of your patterns in the captioning on your TV. So all of those are just a way to get students finding these patterns out in other reading materials. So this was a sample of the worksheet collection sheet that my students had in their classroom. We would write OA, or whatever was their current pattern, AI, EE, EA. It might be, if you're in basic blue, you might be doing the bully R's. You might be doing ER, IR, UR, WOR. So again, this can be used in a multitude of different ways with your students as they move through. And then the final resource is, again, just to remember the Stevenson website itself. If parents are a little bit more interested when they're hearing the Zoom calls going on and they're hearing you talk about peanut butter and jelly and layer cake and letters kicking letters and different things like that happening, and they want to learn a little bit more themselves about what you're using, then I would refer them to the Stevenson Learning Skills website. Also up here on the website, you will find the 1-800 number that Mr. Stevenson alluded to about calling, a way to reach us, to reach him directly. So use that number, leave a message if someone doesn't answer. There's also a link here to contact or email, so that's another way to get a hold of somebody if you need some help. We want to support you in any way that we can, so please don't hesitate to reach out. Please don't hesitate to ask questions on the Facebook group. I hope that some of these resources will make planning your digital lessons just a bit easier. And now we'll go back to Mr. Stevenson for some closing thoughts.
Again, I would like to thank Tammy, Bruce, Lori, and particularly Nancy Zimi, our senior trainer, who organized and produced this video. There are many activities that can be used to support the Stevenson program, and they may vary depending on the individual needs of students. Remember that we are here to help, and you can receive support in various ways, often without charge. For all of you who are using the Stevenson program now, please join our Facebook share group and look through the resources discussed in this video. For all the teachers who want to learn more about the Stevenson program, please contact us. If we are not available on the phone, please leave a message and we will call you back. Good luck to all of us in the current and probably crazy school year. Thank you.